This makeup tutorial isn't showing women how to cover up blemishes. Instead, this program on Moroccan state television is advising women how to apply makeup to hide signs of domestic abuse. The smiling makeup artist used a model to demonstrate how to cover up a beating. She disguised fake black and blue bruises using a blush and concealer around the eyes and cheeks. The idea was to help victims of domestic violence carry on with daily life. But many women reacted in horror, saying it normalized domestic violence, and the tutorial caused outrage on social media. A petition signed by 3,200 people demanded an apology and sanctions against the station. One woman tweeted that the host spent more time talking about the best brand of makeup to cover bruises than the actual issue of domestic violence. Another tweet says Morocco spends more time teaching women to use concealer than teaching men to stop abusing. Domestic violence is not a crime in Morocco. In one state survey, 6 out of 10 women in Morocco said they were victims of some form of violence. About half of those assaulted said it was their husbands who did it. And only 3% of these women ever reported the abuse to authorities. A draft bill making domestic violence a crime has been on the table, but it was held up in Parliament due to elections last month. But critics say it falls short of ensuring victims will get the help they need. As for the TV channel that offended so many women, it has since removed the makeup clip from its website and apologized. Christine Pirovolakis, The Newsmakers.
Miriam Morag joins me now from Amsterdam. She's an anthropologist from the University of Westminster who specializes in social media and protests in the Middle East. Miriam, thank you very much for joining us. When I saw this on social media, I had a suspicion that maybe this was a stunt by either the channel or employees within the channel doing this to raise awareness, and then later on, of course, you know, going through the whole kind of pantomime of apologizing and so on. But the fact that they did it on the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, I wonder, did they meant to do this and raise awareness, didn't they?
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that you say that it's very hard to believe and that it is probably was meant to provoke debates. But I think you give them too much credit. I think the problem is much deeper. That even the fact that it is something that was planned to be aired on a day against violence against women didn't really sort of raise the kind of reflex that this was an improper program. Shows how normalized indeed domestic violence is, but also how part of the process of normalization is the fact that the media handles it in such a sort of random, normal manner instead of responding with shock. So I think, yeah, we've been actually a little naive about the level of complicity and complacency of national media in maintaining domestic violence.
So is the silver lining that that segment might have opened up this debate? We're talking about it now on an international station, and it might have reignited the debate within Morocco.
I think, you know, what needs to be also understood is that Morocco has years and years of struggle for women's rights, and millions of women and men, for that matter, have joined feminist movements and groups, but also ordinary working class movements who demand equal pay for women throughout the recent history of Morocco. So, I mean, it's not like this is a new debate that has not occurred. In fact, I think what is even more problematic, or what this video shows us, is that what we are seeing is also a regression. There have been a number of rights that have been won by women's groups, or that have been finally accredited by the state in the last 20 years. And what you see is you can actually not count on the the process and progress that was made before, that there can actually be a moment of regression, that you have to go back to basics and try to win over some of the rights again. So I think what we see here is also a step back. It's not just a continuation of a sort of normalized understanding of that women should cover their abuse, but it's actually also adding insult to injury and pushing us a step back. And I think that Morocco shows us in a way that this is part of an international trend. We've seen across the world, I mean, whether it's Trump's comments on groping women, Turkish women protesting against a new law and legislation, women groups in the UK fighting against covering up of rape and sexual abuse. So you see actually that this is also part of a global trend where women are being pushed on the defense again, while sort of almost ironically we've thought that some of these basic issues have already been won. So we're sort of fighting multiple struggles at the same time, new ones and old ones.
Yep, point well made. Miriam Werach, unfortunately, I've got to wrap. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.